Hey YouTubers, Starfire here. So I'm going to be doing last night's Supergirl episode. It is season 6, episode 17, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. And I just have this song going through my head. I believe in a thing called love. Or however it goes. That was really bad. I'm very sorry that I just did that and hurt your ears. Anyway, this was a good episode. Obviously, at the end of last episode, we saw Lex saying, he's the key to Nixley's success, and in the future, they are partners and really close, and he actually is in love with her? Like, who would have ever thought that Lex Luthor would love somebody, right? That he would find somebody who was his equal that he wanted to share his life with. So that was interesting. And literally when he said that, I laughed because I'm just like, really, Lex? So, but they are equal. So, yeah. So this was mostly about trying to get the Love Totem. And just love and relationships, and Alex trying to propose to Kelly. And like she said, the last time she did it, it was totally spontaneous, not planned. She just went for it, and then that relationship ended. And so she's been focusing on trying to make this proposal all perfect. And, yeah. But I literally teared up, like, on both the proposals. I know the one that Kelly did was, like, the result of the Love Totem, but, like, oh my gosh. They were just so beautiful, and I just, yeah. I'm really liking them this season. They've really grown on me, and like I've said, I just want Alex to be happy. And she's happy with her. And they have their family now because they have Esme. And, it's perfect. And that's all both of us have wanted for her. So, yeah. We also saw Lena really honing her magic and freeing herself from Lex and, helping Kara with fighting Nixley. So that was cool. Yeah. And obviously we learned too that the shell of the totem can be broken, but the essence of it can manifest into something else. And we saw in the last moment that the Love Totem was doing that within Esme. Which is like, oh my gosh, because that means that they're going to be after her and they're going to try taking her. And like, literally, the Super Friends can never have a break. Something always has to happen. And that goes along with Alex's proposal too, because she's like, ever since we've met, we've been surrounded by chaos. Like, there's always been chaos or some obstacles that we've had to deal with. And we've fought it all. And, we've, through all these different dimensions and obstacles and all these things, we've been able to get through it. And now they're just going to have to deal with that with Esme. Yeah. So that's fun. I know it was hard for John too, because, he had that with not saving those kids back on his planet, and then he, going back into that, and it was really hard for him. But, he was able to through that. So, and then we had a moment with Nia and Raine, which I really hope they get back together by the end too, because I love them. And yeah. And Andrea has something up her sleeve too, because she went back to her alter ego. Well, not, yeah, her superhero persona to get the information that she wanted. So, yeah. Like I say, I always like how there's like a theme to each episode of Supergirl. Whether it's something that is a current threat that's being dealt with, or something to do with family or love or whatever, you know. And this episode was no different in that it focused on love and relationships, and not just relationships, but just love in general, like as an emotion. And I mean, emotions were a big part of this episode too, because Lena had to hone her emotions in order to get the spell and do what she needed to with the magic. And, you know, because it's very in tune with her emotions, like her, if she's angry or if she's sad or if she's happy or whatever, you know. And so, yeah. And then just Kelly and Alex, I mean, having that, just knowing that they're the perfect match for each other. They're meant to be together. Like, they understand each other in a way that nobody else does. And even when Alex doesn't understand something that Kelly's going through, she gives her that freedom and that space to be herself and to share and to process it as she needs to. And vice versa. And I think that that's so important. They have a really, you know, good, healthy relationship. They can talk to each other. They can be open with each other. Like, it's really good in that respect. And so I'm excited to see them get married. Their proposal was beautiful. Yeah. So, and like, seriously, Lex? I mean, who would have thought, right? Like, maybe, did John Cryer ask for that, I wonder? For the character? Like, did he want Lex to have a love interest? Like, I'm really curious about that. Or was that just the writers deciding to do that? Because, I mean, him and Nixley are pretty equal in terms of, like, their cleverness and their wit and their, you know, just, they work well together. They, you know, they really are an equal partnership. And so he never thought he would find somebody who was at his level, and he did. So, yeah. And they both have, like, just kind of been abandoned and not really treated right, and they've never really felt that kind of love or given that kind of love. And so I think for them, it's like, you know, wow, you know, and like she said, nobody's ever self-sacrificed like that for me. You know, she's never had somebody who cares about her that much and who loves her as much as he says he does, that is willing to literally risk their life for her. And I'm sure the same about him, because he said, you know, from a very young age, I knew that I was going to walk this world alone, that I was going to deal with all this stuff by myself, and, you know, the things that I wanted to conquer and all that. And so, you know, he did that for a long time. And then, you know, in the future, they match wits and get together. And, you know, and this time she agrees to have them be friends. So I wonder if we'll get like a flash forward to the future and see them as more than friends. Because I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of intrigued to see that, you know? I didn't think we would ever see something like that. But as I've said repeatedly, he is an amazing Lex, and I love seeing him play the character. So, yeah. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I have to say. It was a really good episode. It was a really good episode, and I loved the proposal, and yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. There's 3 more episodes left, and yeah, so we have next week's, and then we have the last 2 episodes the following week. So, yeah, and then it's over. But I'm sure we'll see them on crossovers and things like that, so. All right, well, I guess until next time, love yourself and be happy.